worth noting, so Kinnikuman Muscle Fighting, this is like I said, it's a 2D Fighter Maker game that I'm going to play right in a couple seconds. It was released around the same time and using the same engine as Armjoe, the infamous fighting game based on Les Miserables. That is a game, Armjoe, alright. I actually talked about this a little. I wrote about this a little bit in the first issue of Okizine, talking about 2D Fighter Maker games, and Mugen games for that matter, that they get a really bad reputation. Like, they get a really bad rap as janky, bad, broken games. And this is like, each of the engines have their own reason for it. 2D Fighter Maker, I think Armjoe is largely responsible for the poor reputation of 2D Fighter Maker. It was a hilariously broken game in many ways. It came out at a time when people really didn't have the tools and technology and knowledge to actually get things going, right? Get 2D Fighter Maker games working well and working properly. And then Mugen. Mugen's another game. I mean, like, I think a lot of people discovered the Mugen engine through stuff like Salty Bets, right? Where it was just, here's the most absurd Mugen creations ever, let's pit them against each other, which is fun and awesome, don't get me wrong. But it also sets you up for, that is the expectation of Mugen, right? So I honestly think both of these engines have been done a disservice by things like Salty Bet in regards to Mugen, and Armjoe in specific in regards to 2D Fighter Maker. And I think looking at Kinnikuman, we're going to see that not all games are completely broken or janky in those ways. I mean, look, I will not shut up about 2D Fighter Maker, obviously. I understand that this is a problem. But I highly recommend you go check out any number of 2D Fighter Maker and Mugen games, especially some of the more modern ones, but realistically, even going back 20, 30 years, you can find games that do a lot of things extremely well, right? And maybe take a look at some of these games and dispel this notion that 2DFM and Mugen are like inherently janky, right? Because they're really not. There's a lot of really interesting stuff on offer. You just got to be willing to give it a go, right? And I think, yeah, it will not take long before you find something that is like, hot damn, that's impressive. Kinnikuman, this is a franchise that I'll admit, I am not the most familiar with Kinnikuman, but every time I see it, I'm just like, this is hilarious. Like, the designs are so delightfully absurd. I'm not sure what what it's all about, but hoo boy, we're gonna find out today. Yo, KO, yeah, there have been a bunch of Kinnikuman fighting games, right? Mostly wrestling-style games. Yeah, absolutely, right? And they do some interesting stuff with, like, fighting game-adjacent mechanics. This is much more of a strict fighting game, so we're gonna see what it's all about. I don't mean to be super stereotypical, but Canadian Man, I think Canadian Man is where we're gonna start. Yo, 2D Fighter Maker games. For the uninitiated, 2D Fighter Maker is a fighting game engine that was released in the 90s. And it was basically it's part of the RPG Maker series of games. So if you know what RPG Maker is, 2D Fighter Maker, it's that but for fighting games. This is from 1998, friends. And the fact that a solo doujin artist from 1998 is able to do this and give us training mode the character. It's super smart, right? Like I love that as a little design choice because 2D Fighter Maker is not the most versatile engine. It does not actually have the tools built in for training mode. Like, it's not a native feature to the engine. So there's a lot developers have to work around to make a super functional game. And I don't know, Matayan has done a really dang good job. So we have ourselves a 3-button fighting game. We just have light, medium, and heavy attacks, and a taunt button. In fairness, we have a dedicated taunt button. Yo, wait, is this the Dan taunt? Is Canadian Man Dan from Street Fighter? Okay, that kind of makes me happy. Oh, wait. Does he have the super? He has the super taunt. Ahoo! Oh, that is amazing. So, what do we have for special attacks? Oh, of course, Canadian Man is a lumberjack. Yo, for real, if there are any Kinnikuman fans in the house, I need you to tell me the lore behind Canadian Man, alright? Tell me it's like the Rising Maple Leaf. Tell me that's called the Rising Maple Leaf. Oh, that's so good. Yo, he's got a bit of like Armika to him as well with like the Nadeshko partner. I love this. Manitoban? Oh, yo, he's, oh, cool. Okay, so he's from Manitoba. All right. So, we have our, like, neutral buttons, right? Light, medium, and heavy attack. We seem to have, yeah. We have some directional normals as well. Yo, for real? Okay, so he is the absolute Dan, right? He's like the jobber? All right. In the English version, he was called Manitoban. All right. Oh, okay. So, yeah, we have some directional normals here, right? I think we have while running normals. This is interesting. So like, I feel like a lot of the wrestling themed fighting games take really good inspiration from, you know, your WWE Raws, your grappling style systems, but also like the while running attacks, right? They introduce, instead of just your more traditional fighting game directional normals, command normals, and all that stuff. Yeah, using the while runnings, while risings, different movesets while grappling. Those tend to be much more specialized in fighting games. So seeing it just kind of embraced when it's all wrestling themed is really nice. See, and yeah, once again, right? Yeah, while running attacks, while rising attacks, that's something that was mostly 3D fighting games that I find have while risings. All right, so our lumberjack friend. Oh, sweet. Okay, so he can actually chain together his lumberjack specials. So right, that's quarter circle forward, light, medium, and heavy, but they act as a Rekka series. Very nice. Yeah, it took a while for Ikemen to get zoom, right? Once again, this is like absolutely really impressive. If you associate 2D Fighter Maker with things like Armjoe, the Les Miserables fighting game, right, which is amazing in its own right, but if that's what you associate it with, there's a lot that's significantly better. Oh, nice! I could just chuck the axe. And this uppercut. Yo, okay, do you see the huge amount of pushback there? Like, I'm not touching, and I just slide out to this far, right? This is something that is inherent to 2D Fighter Maker. That is built into the engine, and like, if you're a developer who doesn't want that in your game, you have to work to circumvent it. Because it makes things like, I think it's supposed to be infinite protection. It just means that like, things that you're like, damn, that should really work, right? They make it really difficult to actually connect. I haven't seen much like gore or blood or anything like that, despite smacking a man with an axe. Oh my god. That is an amazing super. Okay. Yo, weren't we just talking about QuickTime events in fighting games? Yo, Canadian Man in the manga almost gets split in half because of John. Okay, that's kind of wild. Ooh, I like, yo, that is a really nice whiff animation. They did a really good job with the animation right now, just to be like, yes, this is, like, it's very clearly wrestling. I wonder if these are all, if like this is all original sprite work. I don't think I've seen these sprites anywhere else, not even in Mugen or anything like that, right? All right, who do we have, man? There are T-Pac-Man, Pentagon, Benki Man. It's a robot with poop on its head? Okay, I have some questions about this franchise. He's literally a mountain in a gi. I swear, you want to see the mountain. Well, this is it. Something tells me as we go through this character list, there is so much lore that I need to learn. Okay. Let's start with good old. Yo, yeah, affectionately, what the heck, right? I mean, okay, so that's some while runnings. We got the clothesline, we got the drop kick. Yo, my dude! Okay, there's a bit of the gore. All right. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down here, Kinnikuman. So it's funny, so like immediately, right? Canadian Man was much quicker with the cancels. Like you could feel the delay in this, right? Much larger cancel window, but like way slower attacks. The main character being allowed to be absolutely, I mean, well, and this is it. Like the vibes that I'm getting off of this are like original Dragon Ball, like comedy goofball, young Goku Dragon Ball. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting, right? That's what you like about Gigi and Murphy. She's, yeah, right? She's not the brightest, but she's super endearing. Yo, I can kick out of the air. Oh my god, I could do it at a backdash. Sorry, I just learned that I can do that at a backdash. We got, yes, KO. We got Heat Wave at home. I love that. I'm sorry, moves at a backdash. Like, when I realized I could do that when I was playing Zan Evolution Batuden, when I was playing Fran in that, I was just like, oh, I've got all the power now. Where was he? Ramen Man. Okay, good. We got a bit of stretchy limb action. Yo, I love the stretch on this stand medium punch. Yes, Joe, this is the 2D Fighter Maker one. Dude, from like 1998. Like, legitimately, the 2D Fighter Maker games from this era, I'm impressed what developers were able to do with it, right? Like, this was not a super well explored system at this time. Alright, I like this moveset already. What is this character? Okay, so they have a Tatsu, they have a Demon Flip, they have a DP that launches, or the heavy one which goes into like a command grab animation. So yes, KO, the VO work. Honestly, I'm listening to the music track here. I'm gonna turn it up for a second. This sounds like it's from an old rip. Like, it sounds like it's from like a VHS rip of the TV show. Right? Or like an old tape rack, like a cassette tape rip or something like that. I think it might have come from something like that. It has the, like, yeah, the old capture quality audio to it. Yeah, right, that's it. The series came out in 79. So, like, if they had just pulled some of this from some of the late 70s, early 80s stuff, that's my bet on how it would sound. So I wonder if, like, the audio clips are taken from that as well. Oh my god, okay, that lets you just combo off of it? Kim Kaplan, is that you? Apparently, we found them. Oh my god, I feel like this guy's gonna be a combo beast. So that, okay, that at least leaves them in a juggle state. And you can get into 100-hand slap easily. Now, can you get 100-hand slap into anything else? So you can combo into the, yeah. What is this guy? What is he allowed to do? Ramen Man, basically a villain turned good guy. Kills Brocken Man, then eggs on Kinnikuman to fight, and they get along from there. Alright, so a bit of like the Piccolo arc. Whoa, I'm sorry. I kind of love how this works. If you do the light DP, you can just follow up, and all your hits in the air, right? I can just ABC, and it seems to like pit him against the wall, right? Like, that's a really interesting bit of like it's not just, you're not just juggling. Like, usually the wall is there and it prevents you from moving, but unless you have an explicit wall splat move, it's not doing that. But it's just like wall splats are the default for your normals here. Ooh, okay, please let me re-jump off of the super, the HNK wall combos, right? Yeah, it is HNK style. I think that's what makes that game really cool, man. Like, the hit stopping combos and the way that it functions is not the way fighting games typically handle it. No, so, okay. So I can only use the light attack once in the air, right? So if I mash it, nothing else. Yeah, and if I go light medium and try to use light on the way down, it doesn't come out. So I think you might be limited to one normal action per jump. So I think I need to get the rejump. Yeah, both JoJo and Kinnikuman kind of have the same kind of person as a good guy. There's some of the the sensibilities of JoJo, the humor and all that stuff. I get like an immediately a similar vibe, right? Much like, I think it's like somewhere in between. Like you're like original Dragon Ball, and then you got like Kinnikuman, and then you have like JoJo's. I think there's a Venn diagram there between them. Oh man, the pushback on that combo. Oh, see? Yeah, so I got another jump light medium, but it wasn't properly spaced. That's really interesting. I like the idea of you just like, no, you can use any normal in the air once. Kinnikuman kind of had the reverse Dragon Ball route in that it started originally as a somewhat serious superhero story before becoming a wrestling parody. DB went from comedy to serious. That's a really interesting parallel, right? And you're right, Gamers Go By. They're all pretty much human. They're all like, it's kind of like anthropomorphized, like if it was like an anthro game, right? It's like, they're all anthropomorphized. Like, I mean, this guy's apparently an anthropomorphized ramen cup. It kind of tracks when you look at his head. This is good, man. This is good. This is what I was hoping I was gonna get out of this game. This is amazing. You gotta try out some story mode here. All right, let's try, ooh, T-Pac-Man, Pentagon. Guys, we got a lot of options.